Hi everyone, welcome to Circle Healing Connection. This is Angela.
And this is Azra.
Today, it's such an honor that we have Sonny from UK. And Sonny is a GALLUP Certified Strength Coach. And he uses the approaches based in science to help people to discover the best in themselves. Welcome, Sonny.
Thank you.
What's your story like? And how did you become a coach?
Wow, it's a big question, and I'll try and sum it up into a few succinct sentences and stories. So my story personally, formerly I lived in Canada and in the UK, and my life, I had a dream life. I was working in the fashion business as a executive buyer, and to know anything about the fashion business, you would know that to be a buyer it's quite a privilege because there's only few buyers. For example, there's only a handful of buyers that buy for the entire Bay chain, Hudson's Bay chain, and so it's very much a superstar type role that you end up in. I went to Ryerson, life was going well. And all of a sudden, life took a left turn on me. And for reasons that don't really matter, I just received a travel restriction during 9/11 and all of this. It changed the course of my life. When you can't travel to New York and you live in Canada, it's very hard to become and continue being a buyer. And it was heartbreaking because I was in the top echelon of buyers. I was one of the 3 buyers for the Esprit clothing. They had 42 stores in Canada. I was one of the buyers looking after a few divisions. So life was working until it wasn't working. Here I was, left with a life in shambles, and I had to try and put it back together. And this was in 2007. And over the years, I tried to put my life together. And if you've ever built a sandcastle right near a wave, that's what it felt like, although a lot less playful. Imagine putting your entire life into that sandcastle, and every time you build that sandcastle, it just washes away. And I believe in the powers of manifestation and scarcity. And that is, in a sentence, you attract what you think. And so when I was heartbroken and life was literally washed out for me, I attracted more and more and more of that. I suffered as a victim through 2 massive Ponzi schemes. I had a very close friend completely destroy a house that I had in Toronto, and I had to sell it in shambles. And I was a destroyed person. But there's one thing that kept me going through all of this, was something that my brother introduced me to, was the world of coaching and metaphysics and self-development. So at the time I was studying online and books and wherever I could get Wayne Dyer, Eckhart Tolle, Louise Hay, people that I call the masters. And I was taking as much as I could from there. And I was getting coaching and attending workshops where I could. It is that allowed me to move further away from the waves and start building my sandcastle. But I still wasn't able to do it fully until I met my strengths coaching. You see, I was always looking for something out there, thinking if I get a different skill or a different way of being or a different something, then I can fix this mess. And what GALLUP Strengths teaches you through strength psychology, it uses science to do a psychometric to discover what your natural talents that are already in you. There's a little treasure box inside everybody. And what GALLUP Certified Strengths allowed me to do is unlock my treasure box and discover what was already in me. A tool as you would to apply to anything I wish to do. And then it let me be successful. And so what I chose to do is go further into the study of that, become a coach, and use all of my devastating, literally devastating experiences to do something good with, as opposed to just letting them wash away into the sea and mean nothing. And they do mean nothing. However, I want to turn them into something helpful. So that is why I became a coach.
Wow, that's fascinating. So it seems like you've experienced so much yourself, and you have helped other people with their experiences and helped them achieve their greatest potential. So what are some of the factors that you noticed that are typically preventing most people from achieving their greatest potential?
Yeah, it's actually something, it's a great question. Thank you. And it's something I realized about myself along the way. It's what Gallup terms as weakness fixing. And what is weakness fixing? From the moment we go to school, just think a moment about being in school, and you've got math, English, different courses. Let's say you're really great in math, but you're not so good in English or language studies. Our system says, okay, please, Azra, focus on language studies and English more. You're already great at math, so just spend a little less time there. Let's bring your English to passing grade, because you need to pass. And if you think about that, with literally hundreds and millions of people, what we are doing in the world is creating an army of average. We're focusing on what we don't have, trying to make it something we do have, and only being average with it, as opposed to, let's go back to the school where you were really great at math. Let's focus and hyper focus on the math and skills surrounding the math, coding, algorithmic projection, blah, blah, blah. Let's focus all of that world and all of that energy into that blossoming flower of math. Then you become hyper excellent. And if you look at studies with actors, athletes, highly successful people, you will notice they're not fully well-rounded. They're hyper focused and they're super excellent at what they do, but not necessarily what everyone does. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. That, like you said, everyone has a weakness and everyone has a strength. It seems like a strength coach is a very unique and powerful modality, and would love to hear more about how you bring like greatness in other people. So what would your advice be if someone feel broken and maybe they feel like they hit the rock bottom in their life, and maybe they're feeling that they don't matter because everything is not going their way? Would you just help us and then give us some enlightenment?
Yeah, and another great question. Thank you. What you described was my way of being for decades, since 2007 and even before. Even when I had the job, something was missing. And especially when it was gone. And I thought I hit rock bottom, and then again, and then again, and then again. And so much so that about 3 years ago, I was ready to check into a shelter, a homeless shelter. I had given up. I could get a job, but you have to want to do that. I struggled with my mental health. I still work with my mental health, and I work with therapists for that, not coaches. Coaches look forward, therapists look back. And there's a couple of things. One of the things you mentioned is everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Actually, in GALLUP, as a GALLUP certified strengths coach, what we like to say is everybody has inherent talents in them. There are lesser talents and greater talents, as opposed to weaknesses and strengths. We work with people to focus on their greater talents and refine them so that you can become a better artist, a better storyteller in your own life. And so for someone who's hit rock bottom and thinks they don't matter, I was there and someone gave me the Strength Finders 2.0 book, and I did it. And it was literally for me a lifesaver, because, and I get emotional about it, because when I was convinced there was nothing good about me, nothing. It was an algorithm that had been developed over 60 years with Gallup studying human behavior that I did. And I got a 27-page report after doing it. And the report told me all the things that were good about me. And they made sense. And it wasn't someone across me. It was a report. It was a report and mathematical equations that had been put together to show me the patterns, the good patterns that I could focus on, the things that had got me through my lowest points. And so for those people who are at the bottom, don't lose sight that you matter and there is good in you, but do you dare to discover it? That's an important question. And the other thing, which is very hard to do, is remember, you might not be able to thank the universe for bringing you to rock bottom, not at that moment, but there will be a day where you will be able to look back. And now, sometimes I do, as I'm crawling out of it myself. I'm not arrived, I'm a work in progress. But I often look back and think, hey, I remember that and I see me now. And so, yeah, for all the people who are struggling, remember that you matter and that there is inherent talents in you that the world needs. So I encourage you to discover them and to develop them.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. It's so inspiring. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes the rock bottom in your life is not necessarily that bad. Well, thank you so much, Sonny, for your inspiration. And thank you everyone for watching. And Healing Connection is here to bring you inspiration and empowerment. We connect a network of recognized therapists and coaches to bring you the light, to help you to lighten up the darkness in your world. And please click the link below for more information. or just visit healingconnectionhc.com. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.